Hello, everybody. My name is Manal, and I work as an occupational therapist.
Hi, and I'm Sonal. I work as an occupational therapist as well.
So, today, in honor of Occupational Therapy Month, we're going to be talking about how we became OTs and why we love our job so much. So, I'll get started. I actually didn't know much about occupational therapy when I was exploring different careers. I was volunteering at a hospital, and a physical therapist, or as they're known in different countries, physiotherapist, told me that occupational therapy is a very cool field. And if I ever wanted to explore it, I could look into it because they work a lot on handwriting and typing. I guess now I know much better that the OT is so much more than handwriting and typing. But anyway, that was all I'd heard of OT back when I was initially exploring different careers. When I moved to the US and I started looking at different options, I was initially strongly considering physical therapy. And I'd taken all these courses that were prerequisites for physical therapy, only to find out that in California, physical therapy was limited, or actually not limited, but they gave priority first to California residents and US citizens. And being a foreign student, I knew that this would be quite a challenge to get into one of the universities then. So somebody at that time told me, why don't you look at OT? It's very much like physical therapy. And I knew that my end goal was to graduate. I knew my parents were super excited for me to graduate, and I did not want to waste any time. So I decided to meet with one of the university advisors who said that occupational therapy would be perfect. So still not knowing much about it, I decided to go for it. But one of the prerequisites for OT program was to do 80 hours of volunteer work. So I jumped right into it and absolutely loved where I volunteered. It was with kids, long, long days. I was on my feet for hours a day, but absolutely, absolutely loved it. It was so exciting. You know, a pen was never just a pen, it was a magic portal to somewhere, and a book was a magic carpet, and everything was magical and fun, and there was so much creativity involved, and it was super exciting every single day, as well as exhausting, but I still loved it. So I applied, got into the program. I only applied to one university, which is sort of unheard of these days. I guess OT back then was not as popular or was not as known. But now I think it's a little different, where oftentimes I've heard people, prospective students, applying to many universities and then having a handful of options after that, if that. So I got lucky. I'd applied to one university, got into it, had a small program of, small group of OTs that I graduated with. And, after that, I straight away went into pediatrics and really enjoyed every bit of it, and have been working with pediatrics since then. So that was sort of my journey with OT. Sana, why don't you talk a little bit about how you got into it?
So for me, OT began because of Minnow. Honestly, that's the only way I can describe it. She was a person who kept telling me about how much she loved her job. When I was looking for my next move or my next career, what I wanted to do, and it was really, that was the driving force behind me wanting to become an occupational therapist, is following someone or doing something that I loved without complaining about it. I joined a master's program because by that time it wasn't a bachelor, it had become a master's only program. Graduated from the same school Minal did, and I initially thought I'd go into pediatrics because all I'd heard about was pediatric OT. I did my volunteer hours at pediatric therapy places and thought working with kids was the way forward. One of the prerequisites to graduate was doing internships, and my internships happened to be with adults. And that's when I actually fell in love with what I did. I loved working with adults. I loved conversing with adults, listening to their life experiences. And I think they left a mark on me. that internship's left a mark on me, and my career has left a mark on me. It's made me who I am today, and there's nothing about it I'll change. The whole thing about I love what I do, I can actually say I love what I do.
So I guess that's how we got into OT. It was, for me, it was a fluke. Sonal had a little more information, but still not quite, because I was working with pediatrics and she works with adults now. And working with kids and working with adults is very different. But the best part about OT is that you could, start with working with kids and move to working with adults, or vice versa. Sometimes people say they want a career change, but with occupational therapy, it doesn't have to be a career change. Sometimes it could be a change in setting. For example, I used to work, when I started as an OT, I used to work in a clinic setting, which is like a kid's gym. I worked at schools a little bit after that. And now I see kids at their home. So it's been different. And each setting has been a different type of challenge and a different type of change. I guess it has been a change. So with OT, where I've said this to Sonal many times, that you could move from pediatrics to adults, vice versa, and that could be your big career change. And what you'd have to do is take some continuing education courses, get some mentorship, but you wouldn't have to start from scratch, which is the beauty of occupational therapy.
I think Minal just hit a key point right there, mentorship. When we graduate from school, we graduate as little babies. We've generalized in everything, specialized in nothing. So when you find a mentor, stick with them, and it will help your career blossom. I have found great mentors, not only in my sister, and even though we work in different areas of OT, it doesn't mean she's not been a mentor to me, but along the way, I found really good mentors and cheerleaders who've helped me get to where I am.
And interestingly, Sonal says about the mentorship, I've been a mentor to her. She's been the same to me, because even to this day, I will sometimes ask her, what do you think I should do about this case? And I know she works with adults and it's a very, very different setting. But oftentimes I feel so lost that in certain situations where, I'll see, I may see a child who is having some physical challenges and I'm not sure about how to proceed right away, and I'll ask her for some input. So it's been super interesting having a sibling who's in the same field, but yet in a different setting where you can bounce ideas off each other in a different way. So OT is so diverse in so many ways. I guess for OT month, we're super excited that we get to share this information with everybody.
If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to write them down for us. We'll answer them as soon as we can, and we'll keep making more videos about what we do, what we love, and maybe even get into more of each specialty that we partake in right now.
Please subscribe, and stay tuned for more.